All right, ladies and gentlemen, ring introductions are out of the way for this non-title contest. I should stress the fact that this match is non-title, as Chris Preston is getting ready to face the Brickhouse Joey Knight Jr. of the establishment. First time ever one-on-one meeting between these two. And you got to thank the position Joey Knight Jr. is in, as Chris Preston, once again, continuing to berate the fans here in Prescott, Arkansas. You know, you'd think if a man hates being in a town so much, if you think he hates the people of the town so much, he would just quit showing up. One could only hope. But no, Chris Preston, month after month after month, continues to show up to Hay Barn Championship Wrestling, unfortunately, and berate the great people of this city of Prescott, Arkansas. As the matchup is underway now, and Chris Preston not liking the response he's getting, but although, albeit, should he really be surprised at this point? Like surely Chris Preston is not that thick in the head. Surely he is self-aware enough to know that the feeling that these people here in Prescott, Arkansas have towards him. As we got a lockup now, Chris Preston, Joey Knight backing up the social media champion into the ropes. As the referee is calling for a break, and Joey Knight Jr. gives the clean break. And now Joey Knight Jr. is in an interesting predicament here with this being a non-title matchup. Because obviously, Joey Knight Jr., if he wins here tonight, then that puts him in line for an HCW social media title match somewhere down the line. But also, one is to think that even though Aaron Black was not victorious in the Triple Threat number one contenders match earlier tonight, that victory went to Kyle Love. One would have to think that despite Aaron Black's loss tonight, that because Aaron Black's social media title match was interrupted by Draven Murrow, his social media title rematch, one would think that somewhere down the line, Aaron Black should also still get a rematch for the social media championship, as Joey Knight Jr. playing some of those mind games with Chris Preston. But that's at least old Josiah Henderson's opinion. That yes, Kyle Love is number one contender, but because the matchup last month went to a disqualification, Aaron Black should also still be in line for the social media title. But if Joey Knight Jr. wins tonight, then Aaron Black's fellow establishment teammate would also have a right to fight for the social media title somewhere down the line. And we could end up in an interesting predicament where, depending on how the title shots line up, we could have a Joey Knight Jr. versus Aaron Black type scenario for the social media title. Or at the very least, potentially, some type of fatal four-way matchup for the social media championship. But then again, as Joey Knight Jr., a little tit for tat right there, posing on Chris Preston. But once again, all these theories and all this hypothesis that Josiah Henderson is doing, all that rests on the possibility that Joey Knight Jr. could get what many would consider, and even Josiah Henderson would consider, an upset victory over Chris Preston. Because despite Joey Knight Jr. being the 2025 Showstopper winner for HCW, despite Joey Knight Jr. being a former hardcore and tag team champion, he's not even 2 years into professional wrestling. He's not even 2 years into the business. Meanwhile, Chris Preston is 2 decades plus into the business. And for those that don't know what a decade means, that's 10 years. So 2 times 10, at minimum 20 years experience for Chris Preston, and we know it's more than that. So this is one big uphill battle for Joey Knight Jr. to overcome here tonight against the social media champion. As Joey, we don't get to see it very often because Joey, like I said, former hardcore champion, he's usually tangled up into the hardcore matches. We really don't get to see the wrestling aspect, the technical aspect of Joey Knight Jr., so maybe that's an advantage Joey has going in this matchup. He doesn't have many like I said, going up against the experience of Chris Preston, but maybe one of the advantages Joey Knight Jr. has is that Chris Preston does not really have that much tape study on Joey Knight Jr. when it comes to in the ring. And right there, Joey Knight Jr. switching from the Fujiwara armbar to an ankle lock. As he's trying to get the champion to tap out, but Chris Preston rolling through and sends Joey Knight Jr. face first in the second turnbuckle right there. And there's that experience at play. Joey Knight Jr. caught Chris Preston off guard with those submission holds, with his technical ability, but Chris Preston, using that experience, was able to roll through, but Joey Knight Jr. reverses the Irish whip and sends Chris Preston over. Arm drag by Mr. Knight. And now picking him up. He's got Chris Preston. He's holding him. He's taunting with him. And slams him down. Now Joey Knight off the ropes and dropping the splash. Cover. And Chris Preston got the shoulder up. Just a 2 count for Joey Knight Jr. here in this non-title contest. As Joey now just backing those elbows up into the champion. And Joey Knight has the social media champion right where he wants him in the corner. Telling our referee to get out of the way. And comes flying in. And bam! Ping-ponging Chris Preston with those elbows. And charges in with the clothesline. And now, snapmare over. And here he comes. Flying in with the drop kick. Joey Knight Jr. with that combination offense. Going around the world, if you will. But only got him a 2 count. As Joey Knight Jr. confirming with the referee that it was only a 2 count. He's now sizing Chris Preston up. He's got him up. And he's rocking him back and forth. Rockabye, baby. World's strongest slam by Joey Knight Jr. Cover. Kick out. Once again by Chris Preston. Joey Knight Jr. doing what I think he needs to be doing if he has any hopes of winning this matchup, and that's hit the high-impact maneuvers. Hit the powerful moves, like that World's Strongest Slam, like that corner combination, but maybe don't follow Josiah Henderson's advice. Maybe the second rope swanton is a high-impact maneuver Joey Knight Jr. should stop going for. I don't think he's ever hit it. That's Chris Preston taking advantage of moving out of the way and seeing Joey Knight Jr. crash and burn on the mat. Chris Preston now asserting his dominance, and this is the position that Joey Knight Jr. does not want to be in with someone like Chris Preston choking Joey in the corner. And this is exactly the type of matchup Chris Preston likes to have. He's got this matchup slowed down exactly to his liking, to where he could just physically and mentally play with his opponent, try to humiliate his opponent. He's done it to many here in HCW during his tenure, whether it be as the World Heavyweight Champion or currently as the social media champion. As Joey Knight, though, trying to fight back shots to the gut, but Chris Preston delivering a shot to the gut of his own with both a knee to the gut and then a knee to the head, as we just saw. As Chris Preston covering and kick out by Joey Knight at 2. And Chris Preston, I know Chris Preston, he's not exactly taking this match too seriously with it being non-title, but I think Chris Preston choking Joey on the second rope here as the referee initiates his count. But Chris Preston does not want to underestimate Joey Knight Jr. because if he underestimates Joey Knight Jr., Chris Preston could take a loss tonight, which then means that, he'll have a second challenger for his social media title as Joey coming off the ropes and, Chris Preston taking his head off with that big boot right there. Just putting any type of momentum that Joey could have built for himself to a halt. As Chris Preston once again on top of this in this matchup, just having fun with the crowd here in Prescott, Arkansas, and having fun with Joey Knight Jr. as he is just applying the pressure here. Referee getting in there asking if Joey wants to give. I don't think Joey is not one to give. We have seen the type of punishment that he has taken in the hardcore division, and he has gotten up and kept fighting. So, no, I don't think Joey is going to be one to give up as he's trying to fight back here. Like I said, he's a fighter. And, Chris Preston followed suit and just waylays Joey Knight Jr. with an elbow. Joey falling onto his feet right there. Chris Preston on the attack. And what is Preston doing? Oh, Lord, he's got a microphone. And Joey Knight Jr. catches Chris Preston with that spine buster. We got cover here. Oh, not to be it. And thank you, Joey Knight Jr., for ending that diatribe from Chris Preston. Just when I thought Chris Preston couldn't get more conceited than he already was, he took the microphone mid-match to give a speech to the fans about how much better he is than everyone else. And Joey Knight Jr., I think that fired up Joey Knight more than anything as he is repeatedly driving Chris Preston's head in all of the turnbuckles here tonight in Prescott, Arkansas. As Chris Preston may be knocked loopy right there. This may be the opportunity for Joe. Just when I was about to say that Chris Preston may have gave Joey Knight Jr. the ultimate opportunity to get back in this matchup, Chris Preston once again sneaking his way to get back on top in this matchup as he is now. I mean, HCW may want to invest in some riot police if Chris Preston keeps it up like he has been the past few months. I will not be surprised if one of our shows gets interrupted by a riot that's caused by Chris Preston. That would probably be the least shocking thing I'd ever seen here in HCW. As Chris Preston just continues the attack on Joey Knight Jr. and telling the people here in Prescott, Arkansas, that it's their fault that Joey Knight Jr. is going through the punishment that he's going through right now. I mean, just the audacity of Chris Preston. It just never knows a rock bottom. It just continues to go lower and lower and lower each month that this man shows up here. He thinks he's the center of the world, that every company he's a part of, he needs to be the center of attention. Wait a minute, Joey, though, trying to fight back here. Sends Chris Preston off. Bam! Clothesline. Down goes the social media champion. Down he goes again. And Joey now. Oh, drop kick. The big man went flying with a standing drop kick right there. And now drags Chris Preston away from the ropes. Oh, kick out. Kick out by the social media champion. And Joey trying to keep himself back in this matchup. Joey knows, he understands what type of opportunity this is for him. What a win here tonight over Chris Preston could mean for him. As I think he's going to call for the Knight Rider DDT here. Kick to the gut. He's calling for it. He's hooked him up. Wait a minute. Chris Preston. Oh, reverse into an 8 defeat. And will Joey Knight Jr. eat defeat after that? No, he got the shoulder up. Joey Knight Jr. is still in this one, ladies and gentlemen. As Chris Preston cannot believe that he is arguing with the official. Berating the official. Berating the fans here. Chris Preston could not believe that Joey Knight Jr. kicked out of that. Chris Preston trying to cope right now with the fact that this match is still going on. But Chris, you may not want to talk too much. You may not want to talk for too long. I know that's a mighty ask of you. I'm not going to hold my breath on it as Chris Preston hooking Joey Knight Jr. here. Let me go for a wait, Joey blocking the suplex attempt. And, drops Chris Preston face first. And now Joey backing it up. He's got Chris Preston in sight. Splashes the social media champion. Now Joey going for a second. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hell is that? We got some guy. Wait a minute. Chris Preston's got the tights. Come on. Chris Preston had the tights. After the distraction from this message. Wait a minute. Now this message individual, not only have they distracted Joey Knight Jr., but now they're attacking him. What is the meaning of this? Was this a plan from Chris Preston all along? Or is this individual acting of his own accord? I mean, we know the establishment, they have no short line of enemies as this masked assailant. He's got Joey Knight Jr. hooked up. What is he looking to do? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. And here comes the establishment. Running off. Whoever the hell this guy is. He just dropped Joey Knight Jr. on his head. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what to say about what we just saw.